Today on The Kraken, we are talking about the President of the United States. I had some nice, light, comedic content this week about how Donald Trump is not a president or a businessman, he's a hip-hop artist, and I just can't do it. I just can't post it, given the disaster that was this weekend. I've said multiple times that nothing this guy does can surprise me, but he is still quite capable of shocking me. He goes and fires the FBI director, giving the most vindictive and disingenuous answer he can possibly think of. They spout that for 2 days before he goes on television and blows the entire thing up. And now we have this story, which broke yesterday, that Donald Trump revealed code word level classified information to the Russian delegation while they were in the White House. This leak was so offensive that members of his staff immediately called intelligence committees within the United States to warn them. They sent out HR McMaster to refute the story immediately, and he gave a statement that was barely true. Barely true. It really appears that they just looked down the line and asked, okay, which one of our staff members hasn't had their reputation shot to shit working for this administration? Mick, you're up. And true to form, Donald Trump, less than 24 hours later, took to Twitter to confirm the Washington Post story, making the assertion that he's the president and he's allowed to declassify anything he wants. What's being missed here is that this is not American intel. This is intel that was given to America by one of its allies, presumably in the Middle East, and then he used it to brag. This is code word level classification. This is coming from inside the Islamic State, which is not a safe place to collect information on. When they catch you, they typically set you on fire. It's very possible that people died for this information, and this guy doesn't seem to give a shit. While it appears that he did not give up the actual source, the report that came to the Washington Post suggested that Donald Trump gave the counterintelligence services of Russia more than enough information to reverse engineer where this information came from. And whether or not he did, this is enough to shake the source. This is enough to prevent the United States from getting further information from that source, reducing their capabilities of fighting ISIS. The excuse that he gave on Twitter that this is somehow going to strengthen US-Russian cooperation against ISIS is bullshit, because this is not the way that you do it. You don't just spit it out in the middle of an interview. You have a strategy session, you come up with what you're going to say, and you give them a formal briefing. You do it like an adult. It is very clear that this man should not have been in that room. Let me put it this way. I'm good at chess. If I play Garry Kasparov, I'm going to lose every single time, and it's going to have nothing to do with the moves I make on the board. I will have lost the game the moment I sat down, because I'm not equipped to play that guy in chess, just like Donald Trump is not equipped to sit in these meetings. Many people want to see him step down, many people want to see him impeached or resign, and it's not going to happen. He's not willingly going to give up power. The Republicans are not going to impeach him because he's a rubber stamp. He signs whatever they put on top of his desk, and that's good enough for them. What Donald Trump needs to do is recognize the seriousness of his position, recognize his capability of doing harm on the world stage, and stop. He needs help. He needs to let somebody help him. He needs to stop going into these meetings himself and leave it to people who actually know what they're doing. We here at The Kraken thank you very much for joining us, and as always, be good to each other.